It pains me to say this because I have built a business for the last 15 years off the back of search marketing. But if you're a lawyer, you will likely never have success inside of Google when it comes to lead generation. Why? You're just too late and you're priced out of the market. There's too much competition. There's too many entrenched competition that have been there for years when we're talking about organic. And if you move over to the paid side of thing with pay-per-click ads and LSAs, the cost just keeps going up to the point where
too expensive.
There's no ROI. There's no way to make your money back after paying agency fees plus paying all the ad costs. Now I get it, you're constantly getting chased down and pitched by agencies who are promising you the world, but if you've ever worked with an SEO or PPC agency before, you probably know that they tend to overpromise and underdeliver. But look, I don't want to be all doom and gloom because at the end of the day, you're still running a business and you still need to generate leads and get more cases. So how can you do that? If you're priced out of the market and the costs are too high, if you're tired of dealing with SEO agencies that, again, so enter Meta ads. So when I say Meta, I mean Facebook and Instagram because Meta is the parent company that owns both of them. So I'm talking specifically about the ads that show up on your feed, not the organic side of things. So why do I love Meta ads so much for lawyers? Well, again, just to be clear, we still do quite a bit of Google marketing, SEO and PPC for our law firm clients, but we're doing more and more Meta ads because Meta ads are great to do two things. One, to generate leads directly. We call this direct response marketing. That's when we're trying to generate a lead off of the platform directly. Facebook is great for it. It's one of the best platforms in the world to generate leads. In fact, that's probably how you found us right here, so we know what we're talking about. Number two, it builds this true top-of-mind awareness. When we talk about top-of-mind awareness in the legal space, we usually think billboards, radio, TV, and that's great, that has its place, but there's nothing better than Facebook and Instagram because people are checking it so many different times. So if your name and face and law firm keeps on popping up over and over again, it's gonna build that brand recognition that you've tried so hard and so expensive with billboards. Instagram have the biggest reach on the planet of any platform, and they're also heavily used. So there's billions of active users on Facebook and Instagram every single day, but more importantly, it's the frequency of how much people check these platforms on a daily basis. Put it this way, because of the high intent traffic, people are going to Google and saying, I need a lawyer, but they're usually doing that only one time. How many times do they go to Facebook and Instagram on a daily basis? 5, 10, 15, 20, 50 in some cases. They're checking it over and over and over again, constantly refreshing their feed, which means the inventory that's available, the more times they check it, the lower the cost gets on that platform. So they're checking it all the time. You have the ability to get in front of somebody multiple times every single day with different messaging. Also, what I love about the Meta platform is the targeting. So this actually usually turns off lawyers because you think it has to be so linear in terms of Google marketing. I want somebody who's searching for money directly, but in fact, the Meta platform is much better with targeting because it allows us to target based on demographics, interests, and online activity behavior. What that means is that if somebody's been to your website, if somebody's engaged with your Instagram profile, if somebody likes something similar in the industry, we can target them with ads. And the more we run ads, the better the targeting gets. And I know it's a kind of a tough bridge to cross. If you've done a lot of Google marketing, that's so straightforward, where it's just, I want to find people who are looking for a lawyer near me. Obviously with Google, you can't beat that, but you pay the premium for it. With Facebook, if you know how to target people, then you can have much more success. And of course, the best part is just lower costs and it's more scalable. The challenge with Google is the costs are so high because like I said, there's very limited real estate in a Google search result. And there's a lot of lawyers that are competing for that space, so it drives up the cost. And of course, because people are only checking once or twice in that search, it's even higher. The stakes are even higher to try and capture that click. But with Facebook, it scales to the moon because there's no limit to how long people are checking for it. And there's so many more people that are on Facebook and Instagram on a daily basis that Facebook, once it knows who you want to target and identify, can find more and more of those people. So your ads scale much better and the costs actually go down over time, where with Google, they plateau and you get locked into a customer acquisition cost. And a lot of you, like I said, you're priced out, you just can't afford it. So that's why I love Meta. But now I want to give 5 keys to success because maybe you've tried Meta ads before, they worked or they didn't, and I audit a ton of Facebook ad accounts and I can tell you firsthand, you need to pay attention to these 5 keys because it's not the most complex things, but you tend to just go and just run basic commercials on there, expect to generate leads, and nobody really cares. So these are 5 keys, take them for what they are. If you implement these things, I guarantee you that your Facebook ads are going to drive much better legal leads for your law firm. So what I want to quickly do is just go through this funnel and just drive home this last piece too. This is a traditional marketing funnel, but it's overlaid on top of what a legal consumer is looking for as they go throughout this process. So we have awareness, the recall process, discovery process, and selection process, right? Now, when we think about Google, right, Google is king because of the ability to target people that are actively searching for legal help. It's very, very powerful, right? There's nothing more powerful than getting in front of somebody exactly when they're looking for it. But we've also kind of gotten drunk on this, and we only think that that's the only way to do things, and that's why it's created such a logjam and such a high cost. But the beautiful thing about Meta is the ability to target people at multiple stages of the journey with different messaging, different creative, to get them before they're potentially looking for a law firm. So if we think about if you're a divorce lawyer, right? People might have been looking and thinking and stressing for years before they're ready to talk to an attorney, right? So if you're just running Google ads, you're only capturing people down here when they're saying, okay, now I'm ready to talk to a divorce attorney, but they've already gone through this process and been educated, self-educated on themselves. Imagine if you were to catch them up here when they're fighting with their spouse, when they're thinking about what to do with their business or their kids, and you're able to feed them content and messaging and then lead them into the conversation with you. It's much more powerful. It's exactly what we do here at our business. Instead of saying, okay, we're going to wait with like an alligator with our mouth open for law firms that want to find an agency, versus we're going to go out and create content that targets your problems and pain points and put it on your feeds and then bring you into sole source, right? You come to us, you're usually not talking to other agencies, and that's what we want. We want you to be focused on having a conversation with us because you already know that we can solve your problems. It's the same thing here. Now, again, depending on your practice area, we're going to talk about that. This changes, but we're going to get into that, no worries. So, okay, key number one, creative is a variable. And this is so critical. And the reason that creative is so important, when I say creative, I mean images, videos, and the content, the creative that you put onto Facebook, the platform, is because of the lack of targeting, right? So not lack of targeting per se, but the inability to target people that are in market, right? So there's two targeting options inside of Facebook. You can use custom audiences, so people that have been to your website, people that have watched a video, past customer lists, etc. Right? Now, if you don't have that built up, if you don't get a lot of traffic, then we have to go after detailed or demographic targeting, right? But I put in this search here, and you see, I can't target somebody who's in a car accident. Facebook doesn't have access to that data. Versus Google, people saying I got in a car accident, I need a lawyer, we can obviously target them with ads or with organic content inside of Google. So the reason why creative is so important is because we have to put creative on the platform so Facebook can understand who we want to target. A lot of the times when we're running this with a new, personal injury or car accident account, we're only putting in age, gender, and that's pretty much it, and location, obviously, the state that you operate in. And then we're using the creative for Facebook to understand who we want to target. So the more creative assets that we feed it, the more that Facebook is going to understand. And we're going to talk about this. It's not about just putting up a commercial saying, I've been in business for 35 years. No. We want to go after their problems, their fears, their pain points. We want to address this head on. If we talk to their problems and fears and pain points, they're going to engage with the ads, right? The more that somebody engages with the ads, it sends a signal back to Facebook saying, oh, okay, I get it. Now that's who you want to target? Okay, I get it. Now I'm going to serve these ads to this subset of people. And the more engagement that we drive, the more Facebook knows who we want to target. So the best targeting is your creative. The more that you run it, the better that you get with it, the more that you feed it, right? Niche ads that address your prospects' problems head on, the ads will target themselves over time. A big problem that we see when you audit these accounts is people don't know how to target, but it's not about the targeting options, it's about the creative that you're feeding it. So creative is a variable. So when I say creative, what do I mean? What goes into an ad? There's the written copy here, the headline, the hook, the support, all that stuff. There's an image and a video that we put here, title, subtitle, and then a call to action that goes to a landing page. So this is what goes into an ad. So when I say creative, it's all these elements put together. And there's layers to this, right? When we formulate all this stuff, we call it an angle. So we come up with these angles. These angles need to be rooted in the prospect's pain points, problems, fears, anxiety. It's so important because, again, I'm going to say this over and over again through this presentation. If you're just up there talking about yourself, nobody's going to engage with the ad. They're not going to do it. But if we're talking about them, their problems, their fears, their pain points, they're going to stop. They're going to click read more. They're going to click play video. They're going to click is a fear, a pain point, anxiety that we want to try and get in front of somebody who's been in a car accident, right? Instead of being like, hey, I'm a car accident lawyer. I can make you money. We want to talk about that. So within that, we want to feed it multiple different ads. we like to go 5 within each angle, and then we go after multiple angles. So we like to go after at least 5 different angles with 5 different ads underneath it. So another angle could be the daily life disruption of being in a car accident. You don't have a loaner car, you're having to Uber, it's stacking up costs. You're having to have your spouse drive you around, it's causing problems with the relationship. These are all different angles that we can then create ads within that angle. You see what I'm saying? So we're massively impacting the more creative that we put out there, going after these different angles. So the more that we have, the better, and we can kind of mix and match these things. So again, going back to this angle here, if we have 5 ads inside of it, and we break down what's in that actual ad, there's the written copy, there's the video, and there's an offer, right? Then we can go with same copy, video 2, offer 1, and we can create 5 different videos, right? We've now got 25 different ad sets that we can go after. I'm just multiplying these out because we write 5 different pieces of copy, 5 different videos. Offer can kind of stay the same. We're multiplying the amount of ads that we're putting out there. So again, the more ads that we're able to create and feed to Facebook, it's going to go and put it out there like a spider web. And the more that we have, the more that people are going to engage, and we can select those winners. This is how we test ad campaigns. We do it with creative. We put a bunch of creative out there. We see what people engage with. And over time, we continue to iterate, optimize, and drill down into that. So that's key number 1. Creative is the variable. It is by far the most important part of this process. And I get it. Right? You're probably stuck a little bit because you're like, I'm not going to create video content. I don't know how to. Don't worry. We can handle all that for you. I'll talk about that as we get through the end of this video. I'm going to tell you how you can create video content, 20 minutes a month, and you're done. So that's also a stark contrast to Google marketing because you don't have to do anything. You're going to have to put a little bit of effort into this, but don't worry. I'm going to talk to you about all that process. So key number 2, you don't matter, they do. So I've already talked about this a little bit. I'm going to keep drilling this home. I know it hurts your ego a little bit, but they don't care about you. They don't care about your law firm. They don't care about what you do. They don't care about how many years you've been in business. They care about themselves. Going through any sort of legal process is extremely stressful, right? We want to speak to them. We want to empathize to them. So, and we also want to go after what they care about the most, which is the main outcome. So this is a car accident, personal injury law firm. Bad ad. This is bad. Why? For over 35 years, the law firm has dedicated its practice representing the rights of wrongfully injured, right? Picture of them. We don't care. We don't care. We do not care how many years you've been in business. We don't care about your fancy suits. We do not care. What do we care about? If you've been in an injury or accident, what does that person care about? 1, am I going to make money? How much am I going to be compensated? 2, how quickly can I speak to an attorney? What does this ad do here? Car accident, not your fault. Qualifies. Goes after what we want and also qualifying them, not your fault. Don't let potential compensation escape, right? We're qualifying them. Very simple ad. Click to learn more, 100% free and confidential. It's showing a picture of the outcome, right? Compensation. Recent car accident last year. Bang. Are you owed money? Click to find out more. Not the most complex ad, not the prettiest ad, but this ad makes a lot of money. Why? Because we're going after what they care about the most. And car accidents are very simple. Car accidents are very, very simple. It's actually the easiest, believe it or not, the easiest ad type to run on Facebook. We start talking about family or business, it gets a little bit more complex because we have to change the ad type a little bit. So again, just keep in mind, we don't care about you. I know it hurts your ego a little bit, but it's not about you, it's about them. So again, just drilling down into this a little bit more to drive this home because this is something that I know you lawyers struggle with, but you want to sell the hole, not the shovel. That means your messaging should take aim at the pain points of your target customers, talk about their legal problems, not your legal services. Do not talk about your legal services, talk about their problems. It's not the time and the place for that. The deeper the niche, the more the rich. So personal injury or tax is too broad. Pick niches within your practice area. Otherwise, you can't zero in a pain point. And I'm going to show you an example of what this looks like in just 1 second. So the deeper you go, the better. And again, just addressing the video thing again, stop making excuses. You know, I've done this too many times before with clients where I've been like, okay, well, I get you're busy. You have to go to court and you have clients. Like, we don't care. You want to grow your business, your law firm in today's market, you have to make yourself uncomfortable. You have to do what other people are not willing to do. And I'm not asking you to go out and run the Boston Marathon here. I'm asking you to film 20 minutes of simple cell phone video content per month. 20 minutes, sit down, get a tripod, record. I'll send you the scripts. I'll edit it for you. We'll take care of everything. You just have to do that because we need your name, your face out there. It's not only going to help you generate leads for a cheaper cost, it's going to help you build that top of mind awareness that you've been spending millions of dollars on billboards for that haven't been actually doing it for you. So key number 3 just drills into this niche part, right? So personal injury, right? There's multiple different practice areas within personal injury. And we just compare and contrast construction and car accident. These are different problems and pain points within these 2 sub-practice areas. And you can see the difference in what they care about, right? Now, most of you are just going to go out there on ads saying, been in a construction accident, we've been in business for 35 years, right? Again, we don't care. What do we care about? Think about this. If you're a blue collar worker, you're working in New York City, bunch around tough men, right? Like there's so much that goes into if you get hurt on the job. Like, you're probably extremely uncomfortable or embarrassed about the injury, number one, right? Because of the culture and the workplace, the environment that you're in. And two, like fear of retaliation, being labeled as a troublemaker at work, concerned about getting blacklisted in the industry, fear about losing your job. And then there's financial anxiety, medical bills, there's cultural, societal factors, right? Pride in being self-reliant, not wanting to appear weak, medical uncertainty, the family impact, right? These are all things that are unique to a construction accident versus a car accident, right? Again, there's some things that are the same, the financial pressure, but there's different types of financial pressure, right? Like I said, my mother-in-law got in a car accident. The insurance company won't give her a loaner car. She now has to rely on her husband to take her to work or pay an Uber, which is $60 each way every single day. Think about the additional cost that brings up. And she's not at fault in the accident, right? So like all these things stack up, daily life, family impact, right? So like these are different pain points that are hyper specific to what we want to speak to the person about. That's not about you. This is about them. This is what we want to focus in on. It's very, very, very important. So key number 4 now is knowing how to make offers. So I say that there's 2 types of offers, and this really makes a difference depending on what type of law that you practice. So an offer is a mechanism used to turn attention into leads, right? It's how we get people off of Facebook or Instagram and into your ecosystem. So the offer needs to be enticing enough to get people to stop scrolling, give us their information for contacting. Offers vary depending on practice area. So generally speaking, I like to bucket into 2 different types of offers. There's a micro offer and a macro offer. A micro offer is what I call a marketing offer. So like think free ebook, checklist, free webinar, live event, something that is not a direct call, like a quote unquote traditional lead that's gonna get into your intake process. This is somebody that needs a little bit more convincing, somebody that needs a little bit more nurturing, somebody who's not quite ready to convert. This is gonna be best for family law, for business law, any type of law that the customer is doing a lot of research. Again, family law, you could be going through 5 years of hell with your spouse before you're ready to find an attorney, right? Now, that would be great if we put together a video, like a 10-minute video or an ebook saying how to protect your business while going through a divorce, like how a father can maintain custody of his kids while going through divorce, right? These are very important pieces of information that if you can capture somebody at that point, eventually when they're ready to talk to an attorney, they're going to call you for a consult, right? Now, macro offer, this is like straight up personal injury, car accident, direct response. This is a business offer. So this is a vehicle that begins the exchange of value, value for dollars, right? So generates a direct conversation with a prospect. So free consultation, discounted consultation, a wedge offer like a free tax plan, a free business plan template if you're a business lawyer, paid consultation, or an accident settlement calculator. These are all things, we run a lot of accident settlement free consultations, accident settlement calculators for our car accident clients. It works very, very well. Again, just at the bottom here, target their pain points, what keeps them up at night, what do they want? So I've done the work for you and put together this offer by practice area chart. So depending on what practice area you run, these are going to be the best offers for you. So personal injury accident, again, you're pretty much only going to run macro offers. Do you have a case, a quiz, free consultation? But you could run a calculator, what's your injury worth, but this is almost like a macro offer too. Now we look at family, business, criminal, immigration. These all lend pretty well to having a micro offer in between the macro offer, right? So family law, a video saying how to protect your spouse and your business, and then a macro offer is a paid consultation. Business and tax, put a tax calculator template for business, video how to cut taxes by 30% into a paid consultation. And this is important too, guys. You always want to be running paid consultations in family and business. Criminal, you can run some short videos, what to do after a DUI. You could do some short stories about criminal cases, storytelling like that, and then into a free consultation. And then immigration, how to bring your family members into the U.S. without a visa, into a paid consultation. So these are just different offers. I've tested all these, they work. So there you go, enjoy, take them, use them, money in your pocket. Last key number 5, intake. It matters so much, so much when it comes to Facebook ads. The reason being is because, one, when it comes to getting leads off of Facebook. The faster you respond, the better the lead is going to perform. It's kind of like real estate. You know, my wife works in real estate, and there's this adage that a lead decays exponentially fast after in the real estate space. Meaning, as soon as someone submits that form, if you don't call them back within 1 second, they've fallen off a cliff in terms of their response rate. It's not too unsimilar here, because if you're not getting in touch with them immediately, if you're waiting a day, 2 days, 3 days, they probably already found somebody else. So it's also key to maximizing ROI and ad spend. You know, quite frankly, when we're talking about quality, quote unquote, of the leads, you're going to get a lot of tire kickers off Facebook. You're just going to, because we're trying to stop people from what they're doing and try and convince them of something. And once we get them to opt in or call, we're going to have to qualify them. And yeah, I mean, like, the leads are much cheaper on Facebook, so the cost per signed case is going to even out to be cheaper off of Facebook, but you're going to generate more leads. And that means your intake's going to have to do some more screening and some more calls and some more work and be much more organized. So intake is really important. If you don't have a dedicated intake person who's not ready to sift through the dirt to find the diamonds, then you're going to struggle here. Also, for ad campaign optimization. So what we do with our clients is we sit with the intake team every month and we go through every lead and we understand the quality of it, right? What was good, what was bad. This allows us to refine targeting and make it better. And then, like I said, handling high and bad lead volume. You're going to get more leads. They're not all going to be winners. You're just going to have to sift through them. So those are the 5 keys to Facebook ads. We've got this 8-step process for Facebook ad success. We run this for all of our clients: offer development, campaign ideation, ad creation, copywriting, scripting, video and images. For our clients, what we do, we send you 5 video scripts every month. You film it on your cell phone, you send it back to us, we edit it for you, we take care of everything. This is your only involvement in the process if you're an ad client with us. We build custom landing pages, we do conversion tracking, we sync with your intake team, ad setup and management. Look at all the work that happens before we actually set up the ads. And then we do 360 analysis, reporting, and adjustments. So just to tie a bow in this video here, there's 3 different things that we can do with you. One, if you want to learn how to do this yourself, we've got a training program. It's called the Fire Your Agency Training Program, where we teach lawyers how to take marketing in-house and fire your agency to never work with it again. We've got training videos, we've got templates, we've got everything you need to run these ads on your own. Option 2 is to do done with you. So if you're like, okay, I want to do some of this myself because I'm tired of working with an agency, but I don't have the time, there's little pieces of this that you can hire us for. We can do your video editing, we can set up your ads. You just pay us a smaller fee to do that. Or option number 1, which is to just hire us to do everything. We handle everything for you: ad ideation, setup, creation. All you have to do is film the videos and send them back to us. You pay us a flat monthly fee, and we generate leads for you. So that's it. If you have any questions, I'm here. Drop it in the comments below. If not, these are the 3 options. Book a call. Let's chat. I'd love to work with you and your law firm to find out more.